And now in this particular present discussion, we are going to cover questions of kind of old gate questions, and also some questions are designed by me. Those questions also we are going to discuss by end of this session, okay, about voltage regulation. And before voltage regulation, per unit quantity should be known, okay. And in voltage regulation also, if you means my plus subscribers or whoever attended previously offline or whoever were there with our previous platform, it's going to be kind of revision for them, because in voltage regulation detailed analysis, kind of circle diagram, okay, I used to discuss, but now I'm not going to discuss that way. It's going to be kind of very crisp, and kind of for whoever joined already for our entire courses, it's going to be kind of crisp revision for them, and whoever are fresh for this particular session, for them also whatever is required for gate exam, in that way only we are going to go ahead, okay. Now let us think of per unit quantities. Per unit quantities. In per unit quantities, why we are going for per unit quantities in a single line, I'll tell you. The main advantage of AC power transmission. AC power transmission is only because of transformer, because easily we can step up voltages or step down voltages by using a static machine, which is with highest efficiency, least maintenance, least noise, that is transformer. But the disadvantage is, on paper, calculation will be very difficult, okay. On paper, calculation will be very difficult, because let me consider one generator, one transformer, and one load. If I want to apply load flow analysis for this, okay, what is load flow analysis? Finding voltages, finding currents or active power or reactive power factor at each and every bus under healthy or contemplated conditions, we know, okay. If I want to find load current or transmission line current flowing through this, what I'm supposed to do? I'm supposed to transform this load to this, or this particular load impedance should be added with the secondary impedance of the transformer, and that particular thing has to be transformed by N1 by N2 square or N2 by N1 square, whatever it may be. And for that, my primary leakage impedance has to be added, and for that I have to add the transmission line impedance. For that I have to add the secondary impedance of the transformer, and this has to be transformed from here to here. Transformation ratios of transformers are going to create a problem while applying load flow analysis in our power system, okay. Now for that, internal impedance of the generator has to be added. For that, internal impedance of generator divided by total impedance referred to here is going to give you current flowing through this, and that particular current has to be reflected from here to here in order to find transmission line current, okay. That's going to be very difficult process. Even if you think of supercomputers also, means they will not be able to do in 1 week or 10 days also. So means our main target in per unit quantities is this particular transformation ratios of transformers should be eliminated on paper, okay. Or in other ways we can say that on paper I don't want transformers. In the physical world, without transformer, AC power system will not exist. But on paper, I want to eliminate this. I'll be able to eliminate this by using per unit quantities, okay. Transformers from our paper is going to be eliminated completely, is going to be disappeared completely if you use per unit quantities. In per unit quantities, the main thing is per unit of any quantity is going to be actual value in some units, okay, in some units divided by base value in same units, is a kind of relativity. We are relating each and everything. For example, when we said previously my transformer no load current is very least 2 to 6%, okay, my transformer no load current will be 2 to 6% of its full load current, 2 to 6% with respect to its full load current, okay. Our voltage regulation can be maximum 6 to 12%, we can say, okay. So that is kind of relating the things with base value in same units. Now from here, actually I used to discuss why transformer should be designated in kVA, not in kilowatt. Or if you think of synchronous machine alternator, In alternator, kVAR, MVA also should be specified and power factor also should be specified. So these are kind of interview questions which I don't want to go ahead in this particular session because it's concise. Okay. Now, what are the things we are going to have? In our load flow studies, voltage will be there, current will be there, reactive power will be there, actual power will be there, complex power will be there, power factor will be there. These are the things we are supposed to calculate. Now, in these, we have to think about base values because base values should be taken by us. Okay. Means in my previous video, of course, in previous video, I couldn't because I was like lethargic at that time. Okay. Kind of without having any energy. So that's why I couldn't continue previous session. But in this session, I'm going to give a bit of extension of it. Now, if I think of our wall outlet, okay, our plug point, how much should be voltage of that particular wall outlet? Maybe we can think of 230 volts. Okay, but what is the actual value of the wall outlet will be decided by the actual system. Okay, now if you see actual values will be given by system, okay, but base values can be taken by us, okay. Now, for example, across your wall outlet, if existing actual voltage is 250 volts, but should be voltage is 230 volts, so 250 divided by 230 is going to be like per unit value of that particular voltage. Okay, now means we are thinking of base values only. Now, if you think of base values, means for each and everything base value can be there. Okay. Now, the moment it is actual value in some units divided by base value in same units, means per unit value is not going to have any dimensions. No dimensions. In power systems, while discussing faults and stability, I will tell you actually per unit value we say about HM and all, I will discuss at that time. It is not per unit value. It is going to be per unit of kVA or MVA. We will discuss that in power systems. Okay. Now, see here, I can think of voltage base, I can think of current base, I can, for these three, okay. So, this is going to be VI sin pi, P is going to be VI cos pi, S is going to be VI. All these three dimensions are same or not? Yes. Because cos pi, what is the dimension for cos pi? No dimension. Sin pi, no. So it is going to be VI sin pi. This is going to be VI cos pi. It is going to be VI. Of course, for our understanding, for our easy understanding, we say that this VI will be in volt amperes. This is going to be in watts, VI cos pi, and this is in VAR, we say, for our understanding. Okay. So the moment you see VAR, okay, it is reactive power, automatically in your mind you are going to get to know. Okay. Now, apart from that, strictly from dimensions point of view, all these three are having same dimensions, VI sin pi, VI cos pi, VI. Okay. So out of these three, one base can be taken. And if you think of power factor, it is already dimensionless quantity, cos pi, so cos of some angle, so it is already in per unit. Now, if you see voltage base, in my previous session also I used the same example, so I am using the same example. Voltage base, if I take 100 volts, current base if I take 10 amperes. Now, if I think of VA base or P base or Q base, whatever it may be, if I think of this is 100 volts, this is 10 amperes, it should be 1000. Okay. You are not supposed to take other than 1000. Okay. Let me repeat again. If this is voltage of 100 volts and this is of I base. Base values we can take, right? We can choose base values. So let me choose base value of 100 volts. Let me choose base value of current as 10 amperes. So 100 volts into 10 amperes is going to be 1000 only should be taken, because means this particular VI or VI cos pi or VI sin pi are V and I having direct relation. Okay, so that interlinking mechanism should not be disturbed. So out of these three, only two should be taken as references or as basis, and third one should be derived from those two. For example, if I take voltage base and if I take current base, or S base or P base or Q base, let me consider S base. S base should not be taken. Okay, so if I take V base and I base, then S base should be written in terms of V base and I base. Okay, so out of these three, only two bases has to be taken. What are those two bases? Voltage base we are going to consider. Why? Because should be voltages of our plug point to national grid, everything we know. Okay, so how much should be voltage across your wall outlet? Maybe 230 volts. Line to line, 440 volts. Maybe prior to that, line to line, prior to like distribution transformer, it will be 11 kV. Prior to that, it can be 33. Prior to that, it can be 66 or 110 or 132 or maybe 220 or 400 or 765. Okay, so should be voltages from here to national grid, everything we know. So voltage base we are going to consider. Okay, now current base should be current, we don't know. We don't know. Now if I think of here, S base we are going to choose. S base we are going to choose. Why? Because machine capability should be designated in kVA, not in kilowatt. That particular question is not relevant to GATE examination. So S base we are going to take, that's it. Now, if you think of transformer, okay, in transformer, how these bases should be taken in such a way that means in per unit, actually like third year students, final year students will have a bit of small friction in understanding per unit quantities. But once you enter into power systems, once you are deeply habituated to use per unit quantities, automatically everything will be set. Okay. Now, and one more thing is why no load currents of transformers will not be considered in power systems. Why? It is because of per unit quantities only. That particular discussion also I am not doing now because it is not related to GATE examination. Okay. Now, let me think of 10 kVA, maybe 250 volts by 2500 volts. This is the transformer given. For this, how to choose base values of voltages? How to choose base value of kVA or VA such that means this particular impedance value you need not convert or you need not transform, or you can directly eliminate this particular transformer in analyzing in load flow studies. Okay, load flow studies are anywhere, whatever it may be. So point here is in order to eliminate this from paper, we are trying to work. So for this, how to choose? Let me tell you. So this 10 kVA is going to be both sides. We have to take 10 kVA only. Okay. Even in transformer also, if primary is capable of 10 kVA, secondary also will be capable of 10 kVA. Right. Now means for voltage base, VA base, and I base should be derived from VA base and V base. Okay. Now on LV side, let me consider 250 volts. On HV side, let me consider 2500 volts. Problem solved. Now let us see how it is going to work out, or how per unit quantities are going to eliminate transformer. That because without having per unit quantities, or in per unit quantities, we are going to derive two equations. Those two equations are very, very, very important, either for voltage regulation calculations of transformer or efficiency calculations of transformer. These two are very much important. Okay. Now coming to here, what is Z base, Z per unit? Because I need to avoid transformation ratios of the transformers. Z per unit equal to Z in ohms divided by Z base in ohms. Now one more thing is, see here, for resistance R base, reactance X base, impedance Z base will not be there, because resistance is in ohms, reactance is in ohms, and impedance also will be ohms, like similarly like this. Okay, so this is VI cos pi, VI sin pi, means combinedly we are going to have only one base only. Similarly, for resistance, reactance, impedance, same base will be there, because dimensions are going to be same. Okay, now coming to here, how much is Z base? Let me consider Z base should be V base by I base. Now V base directly we have taken, but what is I base? I base should be derived from, because I base we did not consider because interlocking mechanism is going to be failed. Okay, so I base is going to be VA base by V base. So Z base is going to be V base divided by VA base square. Now let us write that equation here. Okay, if I write that equation here, this is going to be Z divided by V base square into VA base is going to be Z per unit. This particular formula means you should remember such that it will be handy in all the times. Okay. Now Z into VA base by V base square is going to be Z per unit. Now, in power systems, sometimes, of course, in machines, that particular formula is not that much required, but in power systems, regularly this particular thing will come. Now, if I have Z per unit volt, okay, maybe VA basis may be changed. Okay, with respect to that, base values can be changed, or base values of voltages can be changed. That will happen in power systems preferably. Under that conditions, Z per unit volt may have to be converted into Z per unit nu. Okay. Now, if I think of Z per unit nu equal to, very simple, volt Z per unit, convert it into impedance. Okay. Volt Z per unit, convert it into impedance and use the same formula, problem solved. Now, how much is the impedance Z per unit into VA base? Z per unit volt, Z per unit volt into V base square volt divided by VA base volt will give you that particular Z value in ohms or not. Yes, for that you please convert it into okay. So this particular equation need not be remembered. This is sufficient. Okay. Now let me see how this particular equation is making our transformer to disappear on paper has to be understood. Right. Now, chalo. See, if I have maybe some impedance here of maybe 100 ohms. Okay. Now my Z value on HV side is going to be 100 ohms. Okay. Now, that particular Z value on HV side is 100 ohms. Let me convert it into per unit value. Now, Z per unit equal to Z into VA base. VA base for both sides same has to be taken. So, VA base divided by V base square. So, as this is connected on HV side voltage has to be used. So, this is going to be 2500 square. That is going to be Z per unit of this particular load impedance on HV side. Okay. Now, let me calculate on LV side. Okay. Now, let me calculate Z of HV dash. Okay. This particular impedance, let me transform from here to here by using transformation ratio. Okay. And after that, we are going to cross check whether to maintain this particular transformation ratio or whether to maintain that particular physically existing transformer on paper. Should we do it or not, we will come to know. After that, we can run the show. Okay. Now, Z HV to LV, HV side to LV, HV to LV voltages will be reduced, currents will be increased. So, V by I has to be reduced by square times. Okay. So, this is going to be 100 ohm. Okay, and this is going to be 10, so 10 square, right? HV side to LV side voltage, impedance is nothing but V by I, no. Numerator has to be reduced and denominator has to be increased, so net value should be reduced by square times. Okay, now next thing is into, okay, let me think of ohms. Now, let me calculate Z dash in per unit. In per unit is going to be impedance value into VA base divided by V base square. Both should be same or not? Yes, they are same. So, the moment they are same, you need not, for example, if you convert this particular 100 ohms into per unit, I need not transform from here to here. Problem solved. Okay. Now, let me consider one more thing. That means in this, okay, let me use red. Okay. In this particular calculation, let me calculate base value of current. It is important for our equations which has to be derived. Okay. Now, if I, try to calculate base current value. How to calculate base current value? Forget about that. Means VA base divided by V base. Now, how much is VA base? VA base is going to be 10,000. VA base is going to be VA rated, right? VA rated 10,000 divided by V base is going to be V rated. Okay, so on LV side it is going to be 250 and HV side it is going to be 2500. So this is going to be V rated. So it's going to be I rated or not? I rated or I full load, anything is same. Okay, so base value of current is nothing but full load value of current. Full load value of current. Problem solved. Now let us consider two equations which are very much important for us. Okay, now let me calculate RE per unit. Okay, what is RE? RE is nothing but, maybe if I consider RE1, RE1 means primary side. Primary side resistance equal to R1 plus R2 dash. Or if I think of RE2 is going to be R2 plus R1 dash. Okay, now RE1 per unit or RE2 per unit is going to be same, because just now we have seen that particular transformation ratios of transformers can be removed. So RE per unit is going to be RE in ohms divided by Z base in ohms. Z base in ohms. Now for that, actually people ask me, why are you doing that? Why are you, I'm about to do something. People ask me like, some people ask me like, why are you doing that? Okay, that is because I know the solution. Okay, I know the solution. Just a minute guys, whether it is getting recorded or not, let me see. Yes. Okay, now point here is very simple. I know the output. I wanted to have that output. Let me calculate IFL divided by I base. IFL by I base both are same only, no? Into IFL divided by I base. Okay, now Z base into I base, V base, V base into I base, VA base, VA base, VA base. Now VA base is nothing but VA rated or not, VA rated or not. Now let us see here. So this is going to be VA rated or VA base, anything is okay. Okay, now IFL square RE, IFL square RE, meaning that it is going to be IFL square, full load current square multiplied by resistance is going to be copper loss. Okay, so but that copper loss should be calculated for full load. Now copper loss at full load divided by VA rated. Now in between SC test and OC test, in between SC test, short circuit test and open circuit test, where you are going to get copper losses? SC, short circuit condition. But that short circuit condition, you have to cross check this, because SC test, the problem with SC test is it can be conducted at any current value, right? If you think of open circuit test should be conducted at rated voltage, rated frequency only. We discussed about that previously, it's enough. Okay, now see here, first of all, again let me repeat again. Copper loss full load, at full load, because IFL square has to be remembered. Okay, otherwise they can give you my short circuit is conducted at half full load current. Okay, under that conditions, in order to use this equation, means that a particular half full load current copper losses should be mapped to full load current copper losses, then only you should use this equation. Okay, so this is going to be short circuit test wattmeter reading, but that short circuit should be conducted at full load. Try to remember this guys, otherwise you will forget. Okay, they can create one trick there, tricky question there, divided by VA rated. Okay, this particular thing always should be there in your mind while calculations of efficiency and voltage regulation. Okay, now let us think of ZE per unit. ZE per unit. Okay, now how much is ZE per unit? ZE per unit is nothing but ZE divided by Z base. ZE divided by Z base. Okay, let me multiply with IFL divided by I base, because IFL equal to I base, just now we have seen, right? So this is going to be IFL into ZE, IFL into ZE. Okay, ZE in ohms, right? ZE in ohms divided by Z base in ohms. Now full load current multiplied by ZE will give you voltage drop across total leakage impedance at full load condition. Okay, now this is going to be voltage drop across full load, across total leakage impedance ZE at full load at full load divided by V base into Z base into I base. Z base into I base is going to be V base. So let us have V base. Let us have V base. Now, means in which test you are going to get voltage drop across ZE? Again, SC test, because in SC test, equivalent is going to be resistance, reactance, and this is going to be SC test. Okay. Now, this is going to be VSC. This is going to be ISC. So, this entire thing is going to be ZE. Okay. Now, if ISC is IFL, now IFL into ZE is nothing but voltage to be supplied to circulate rated current under SC test conditions, right? So, this is going to be voltage drop across ZE at full load is nothing but voltmeter reading at short circuit condition, but that particular short circuit test should have been conducted at full load divided by V rated. This is ZE per unit. We derived this equation, and this equation is very much important, either means both in voltage regulation and efficiency. So just go through these two equations. Go through these two equations once. This is going to be short circuit wattmeter reading at full load divided by VA rated, and this is going to be short circuit voltage at full load divided by V rated. This is ZE per unit, this is RE per unit, and open the book, make a note of these two. Okay. Now, let us think of voltage regulation. Immediately after this, we can start voltage regulation problems, right? Now, let us think of the significance of voltage regulation. Why we are calculating for power transformer, why we are calculating for distribution transformer, everything already we discussed in our previous session. Okay, previous in the sense last but one. Okay, means for power transformer, for alternator, for distribution transformer, if power transformer, if it is not having reactive power compensation, if it is having reactive power compensation, in detail already we discussed. Okay, but at that time we were in comprehensive course. Now we are in concised course. Okay, kind of. So, anyway, significance of voltage regulation, significance of maximum voltage regulation, zero voltage regulation, we discussed in our previous session, forget about it. Now, I decided to calculate voltage regulation. Okay. Now, see here, shunt branch, if I keep it here, approximate equivalent circuit. This is transformer, right? In this is R1, this is X1, this is R2, this is X2. So, this is going to be V2, this is going to be I2, okay, and this is going to be I2 dash, this is going to be V1. Now, means in terminal voltage variations, okay, this particular V2 terminal voltage variations will be decided by I2 and theta 2, because in our transformer, two independent variables will be there. Right? In our transformer, two independent variables will be there. Those are I2 and theta 2. So, everything will be decided by I2 and theta 2. Now, depending upon I2, theta 2, my terminal voltage variations are going to happen. But, means this particular, what do you say, shunt branch. Is shunt branch playing any role in this terminal voltage variations? No. In terminal voltage variations, my shunt branch is not at all getting involved. So, we can remove shunt branch. Of course, at the end of voltage regulation, we have one problem, okay, of volt gate only, I think. There I will discuss, okay. Now, anyway, point here is very simple. Shunt branch is not going to involve in any terminal voltage variation, so shunt branch can be neglected. Now, everything can be, because R1 and X1 can be transformed to here, then my net equivalent is going to be, this is RE2, this is XE2. RE2, XE2, and this is going to be E2, this is going to be V2. Current is going to be I2 at theta 2, okay. And of course, we know one thing, that E2 is going to be constant, terminal voltage variations are going to happen for distribution transformer or for alternator, because excitation is there, excitation control will be there with us in alternator. And in power transformer, tap changer will be there. So in power transformer, E2 is going to be variable, V2 is going to be constant. Okay, in power transformer, E2 is going to be variable, V2 is going to be constant in power transformer. In alternator also, E2 is going to be variable, V2 is going to be constant. And one thing you have to keep it in mind, that once alternator is connected with infinite bus, okay, or once power transformer, in power transformer case also, means the power transformer always almost operated to full load. Alternator, once it is connected to infinite bus, it will be always operating at full load only. So for power transformer and alternator, means it will be full load. Because in the problem, we have to check while solving the problem. Okay, so it is going to be full load in alternator and in power transformer. And in distribution transformer, this can be full load or half full load or 10% of full load or 3/4 full load, we don't know. Because distribution transformer, directly whatever the transformer which is supplying power to your home, whichever is supplying power to your home, that particular thing is going to be varied. It's going to be huge variations will be there in distribution transformer, and in distribution transformer, tap changer will not be there. For example, of course, previously I said that, but I need to give a small recap here, Okay. Now, if I say my favorite transformer, that is 10 kVA, 2500 volts divided by 250 volts. Is it power transformer or distribution transformer? It can be power or it can be distribution. Okay, but see here, if I have, for example, if I supply 2500 volts here, I am getting 250 volts here. Okay, and depending upon I2 and theta 2, V2 is going to vary. What does it mean? Now it is going to be distribution transformer. Now nameplate detail, ultimately rated voltage is going to be nameplate detail voltage only. Okay, so if you supply 2500, it will give you 250 at no load. Under loaded conditions, terminal voltage is going to vary. Now if I think of, see here, same transformer, when you supply 2500 volts, okay, now at no load it may give 250 volts, which will give 250 volts. Now if it is loaded, okay, if it is loaded, then what you are going to do? You are going to vary the taps, such that here voltage will be maintained, here it is going to be variable, here voltage will be maintained constant, then it is going to be power transformer. Okay, now ultimately in power transformer or distribution transformer, nameplate details are going to be rated voltage. Now in distribution transformer, means no load voltage will be 250. In power transformer, means at my terminals voltage is going to be 250. Now if I think of voltage regulation equation, okay, so voltage regulation is nothing but E2 magnitude minus V2 magnitude divided by rated voltage. Okay, now this rated voltage is going to be no load voltage in case of distribution transformer, and the same is going to be full load voltage or any load voltage. Full load voltage if it is power transformer or alternator. Means E2 minus V2 by E2, right? E2 minus V2 by V2 is also right. E2 minus V2 by E2, distribution transformer, because E2 is going to be nameplate detail. Okay.
It's time to experience something glorious. Unacademy Combat. Compete, crack, conquer.
A challenging gate contest engineered to give you an experience like none other.
Where you put your knowledge to test
and battle it out with the best.
To bring out the best in you, Unacademy Combat is the most competitive, gamified contest for gate till date, with the best of the questions by best educators.
with detailed video solutions from top educators right after each contest.
Combat live with peers to get real-time rankings and win big.
Participate in every contest to improve your ratings.
Challenging contests every fortnight or alternate Sunday. Live ranking after every question. Big rewards for top rankers. Your passion to crack GATE deserves this. Your hard work towards your dream deserves this. Fuel your inner fire for the ultimate GATE challenge. Unacademy Combat. Register now.